So now next our second property is time reversal. Okay, the second first we have told about linearity. The second one is the time reversal. So what is the time reversal property? See, again we are having the discrete time signal, say our x of n. If our x of n, the discrete time signal sequence x of n is having an z transform pair as xz, x of z, then according to the time reversal property says that if x of n discrete signal has a time z transform as xz, then x of minus n discrete signal, x of minus n means it is a left-sided signal. So this x of minus n signal, discrete signal, will have a z transform z transform of z raised to minus 1. Okay, so we are having a discrete sequence x of n having a z transform pair as x of z, then x of minus n should have the z transform as x of z raised to minus 1. Okay, that means if you reverse the discrete time, if you are reversing the discrete time, that is if x of n is a right-sided signal, this is a right-sided signal, xn means x of plus n. So this is a right-sided signal, and if you are reversing it completely or you are finding the image or reflection, that is x of n is changed to x of minus n, this is a reverse version. Then what will happen? You will get x of minus n z transform as x of z raised to minus 1. So we are going to find the proof of that. That is z transform of x of n. Z transform of x of n is written as x of z is equal to sigma minus infinity z raised to minus 1. Okay. So now we need to prove what this is our standard, that is z transform of x of n, that is x of z, that is written as sigma n is equal to minus infinity to plus n x of n into z raised to minus n. But now our x of n is what? X raised to minus n. So we can write z transform of x of minus n is equal to sigma n is equal to minus x, instead of x of n we are going to put x of minus n z raised to minus n. Now let us assume, we are having minus n, right? We need n. So let minus n is equal to p, or p is equal to minus p is equal to n. Whatever you want you can write. See, so when n is equal to infinity, p is also infinity. When n is equal to minus infinity, p is also equal to minus infinity. So there is no matter of change in the limit. So this you can write it as sigma, instead of p you can write it as sigma p equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Instead of minus n you can put it as x of p z raised to p. Okay, z raised to p. See what is our standard form? X of n z raised to minus n. So instead of z raised to minus p, we can write like this. Instead of z raised to minus p, we can write like this. Z raised to minus 1 raised to minus p. So this can be written as x of z raised to minus 1. See, whatever comes here as z, you write it as z transform. If you are having z raised to minus n, we could have written x of z, that is x of n z raised to minus n. You could have written it as x of z. X of n z raised to minus n, you have written here as x of z. Here we are having x of n z raised to, this is the z here. This is the z here. Z raised to minus n. X of n z raised to minus n. X of p z raised to minus p. So here we have written as x of n or x of z raised to minus 1. So whatever comes here as z, you write it as transform. So you have written that z transform of x of minus n is equal to x of minus z. That was our proof. Okay. So once again, if x of n, that is discrete time signal x of n is having a z transform as x of z, then x of minus n, this is a purely right-sided signal and this is purely a left-sided signal. X of minus n will have the z transform as z raised to minus 1. We have taken the standard signal x of n, x of z, this we have taken. Instead of x of n here, we have substituted with x of minus n, and now we have taken like minus n is equal to p, we have substituted here. Here we got z raised to p, for that we have written z raised to minus 1 whole raised to minus p. See, whatever comes here, you write it as z transform and you are getting x of z raised to minus 1. That is our proof. Now, we want to do an example. See, find the z transform of the signal x of n is equal to u of minus n. See, x of n is equal to u of minus n. We already know the standard signal. We already know the standard signal u of n as z transform is u of n is z by z minus 1. That is a z transform pair. And we know that ROC should be greater than 1. This we have already discussed. That is a unit step function z by z minus 1, and you know that u of n is a purely right-sided signal. So ROC should be z minus 1, that is the modulus of z should be greater than 1. See, now we are going to use the time reversal. That is, we are having u of n as z by z minus 1. That is our z transform pair. Now we are going to replace n by minus n. So u of minus n. So by what factor it has reversed? Now it has become the mirror image, right? So instead, wherever you have written z, see u of n, x of n means you are getting x of z. When you are replacing x of minus n, instead of z here you are putting z raised to minus 1. Instead of z you are putting z raised to minus 1. Right? Now if you want, you can solve it 1 by z minus 1, or you can solve it and you will get it as 1 by 1 minus z. Now what is the ROC here? Here ROC is always less than 1. Why? Because this is a purely left-sided signal. Here it was a purely right-sided signal, so you had ROC should be greater than 1. See, when the minus n comes, it seems that it is a left-sided signal, so ROC should be less than 1. Simple thing, when the x of n came, you are having x of z. When u of n came, you had the z transform pair as z by z minus 1. When u of minus n, when x of minus n comes, according to time reversal property, this x z raised to minus n. So u of minus 1 means z raised to minus 1 by z raised to minus 1 by 1. Okay, this is a simple example. Let us see one more example. Let us consider, say, let x of n is equal to a raised to n u raised to u of minus n. So instead of a, I have taken an integer value 2 raised to n u raised to minus n. See, one of things where we are going to use such signals, or how do we recognize which property of z transforms must be used. When u of minus n type signal comes, we use time reversal property. Okay. When u of minus n type signal comes, we use the z transform time reversal property of the z transform. Okay. Now here we already studied a raised to n u of n. We know the standard value of a raised to n u of n. We have the standard value a raised to n u of n. We know that is z by z minus a, because u of n is 1. So a raised to n z raised to minus n. So a z raised to whole raised to minus 1, that is 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. So when you are simplifying, you got z by z minus a. Now we want to convert this also into negative powers. So 2 raised to n we want to convert into negative powers means we can write it as it is equivalent to 2 raised to n is equivalent to 1 by 2 raised to minus n. So you can write 1 by 2 raised to minus n u of minus n. Okay, 1 by 2 raised to minus n u of minus n. Now let us consider, let x of n is equal to a raised to n u of n. A raised to n u of n. Then we will have x of z will be z by z minus a. Right? Z by z minus a. Now, so x of minus n is equal to, what will be the z transform? According to using this property, we should have x of minus n should be equal to x of z raised to minus 1. Right? Z raised to minus 1. That is z raised to minus 1 divided by z inverse minus half. Is it okay? See, x of n is equal to x of z. That is a raised to n into u of n is z by z minus 1 by 2. X of n should be equal to z transform power is x z raised to minus 1. So x of minus n is, wherever you had z, you are going to put z raised to minus 1. Z raised to minus 1 by z raised to z inverse minus a, or 1 by 2. Now if you want, you can solve it. This is 1 by z. 1 by z minus 1 by 2. Or you can solve it and you will finally get a value 2 by 2 minus z. You can take the LCM. 2 minus z by 2z raised to 1 by 2, z and z will get cancelled, and 2 by 2 minus z. Now we want to know what is the ROC of this minus n. You know that here it is modulus of z, whole is z minus 2 equal to 0, that is z. Now we want to see whether you have to put less than sign or greater than sign. We know that this is a purely left side signal. So we want to put the ROC as less than 2. ROC as less than 2 because this is a negative sided signal. But here what will happen? Here what will happen? X of n means this is a purely right side signal. So what will happen? It will be greater than 2. Okay, not 2, sorry, 1 by 2. It will be greater than 1 by 2 because the x of n is a purely right sided signal. This is how, this is how we do the time reversal property. So time reversal property is where if x of n has a z transform per x of z, then x of minus n, that is a reversal or the image or the inversion of that signal, is equal to x z raised to minus 1. Or we can say that when a signal is folded, the coefficient of z raised to minus n becomes the coefficient of z raised to minus n. In n of minus 1, whatever you want. Or folding a signal, if you are folding a signal, is equivalent to z is equivalent to z raised to minus 1. Folding a signal means you are having a signal z, then you are going to replace it by z raised to minus 1 using the z transform property. Okay, that is a reflection of inversion of z domain. Now we have another property. Time shifting. We are having time shifting property. So what do you mean by time shifting property? We can have two types of shift, that is either left hand side or the right hand side shift. That is, we are having x of n, the z transform of x of n has a z transform by x of z. Now we are having, we are going to shift the time either to left side or right side. So n minus m means it is a right shift. It is a right shift. So according to time shifting property, we are saying that if x of n has a z transform as x of z, then x of n minus 1 will have a z transform as z raised to minus m x of z, and also if it is shifted to the left side, it will have x raised to m x of z. This is the time shifting property. So what is the time shifting property? If we are having a discrete sequence, discrete signal or discrete time signal, say x of n, we are saying that this x of n has a z transform pair as xz. Then if you are shifting this discrete time signal, see I already told that z transform is used in the discrete signals, discrete time signals. So if you are shifting this x of n either to the right side or left side, our z transform pair also will get altered by this shift. If it was shifted by minus m, you will get the power of z transform as z raised to minus m. If it has shifted or to the left side plus m, here also you will get it as plus m. Okay. Now let us prove how it is. That is z transform of x of n, that is we usually write it as x of z is equal to sigma n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n. Now we need to prove the z transform of x of n minus m, x of n minus m or x of n plus m. Let us start with x of n minus m. See here, instead of x of n here, we are going to write it as x of n minus m z raised to minus m. Okay. Now we are going to put, let n minus m is equal to p or n is equal to m plus p. So when n is equal to infinity, p is also equal to infinity. When n is equal to minus infinity, p is also equal to minus infinity. So again, z transform of x of n minus m, there is no matter if you are going to write instead of x here, if you are going to write it as p is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Instead of n minus p, we are going to write it as p z raised to, instead of minus n, we are going to write it as minus m plus p. That is sigma minus infinity to plus infinity x of p z raised to, see the summation x of p is raised to z raised to minus p only. So what you can take outside? You can take outside z raised to minus m, because the summation is for p is equal to, it is for p only. So you are going to take the m outside. So what is this? This is equal to z raised to minus m. And what is this one? This is sigma n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n, or sigma n is p is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of p z raised to minus p. Whatever it is, no problem. This can be written as x of z. This can be written as x of z. Similarly, you will get it when you are taking x of, instead of minus here, if you are taking x of n plus 1, you will get it as z raised to m x of z. This is what we call the time shifting property. Okay. This is the time shifting property. So, I think we are very familiar with our impulse function. See, we have already studied the impulse pair. The impulse function of x of n is equal to z transform of x of n is equal to 1. Okay. Now, I am going to shift by a factor, say k. So, what will happen? Here, when x of n is equal to x of n. Now, when you have shifted x of n minus m, you got z raised to minus m x of z. Right? So, here what you will get? We have shifted it by minus k and impulse function is 1. So what is when you are shifting delta of x n minus k, you are getting z minus k. Or if you are shifting delta of n minus 1, you will get it as z raised to minus 1, that is 1 by z. So this is the shifting property or the shifted impulse function. Okay, shifted impulse function. Now we will do another example. Let given that x of z is equal to z raised to minus 1 by 1 minus 3 z raised to minus 1. Okay. Now always we have to keep our standard formulas: a raised to n, u raised to n, u of n, or a raised to n, z raised to minus n, that is equal to a raised to n, z raised to minus n. We have z minus z by a. We are having that one. See, here you can write this as two functions. See, z raised to minus 1 into x1 z, where x1 of z is equal to 1 by 1 minus 3 z inverse, that is 1 by 1 minus 3 by z, that is z by z minus 3, z by z minus 3, z by z minus a. So now, so what can we write for that? It is z by z minus 3, or it is having a form a raised to u of n or a raised to n, z raised to minus n, right? So now we are going to use the shifting property. Here what is k here, or what is the shift happened here? It is by 1. How do we know? Because it is z raised to minus 1. So here the shift happened is k is equal to 1 here. And what is x of n? X of n is 3 raised to n u of n. A raised to n u of n. Here instead of a you are having 3 raised to n u of n. So what will happen? Our x of n will be, it has been shifted by 1. So 3 raised to n minus 1 u of n minus 1. This is our time shifting property. So we can either shift the discrete time sequence signals either to the right side or to the left side. However you are shifting, you will get the power of that shift. These are the standard or impulse functions, and these all things always we have to keep it in the mind. And when you are doing different problems, it will be useful for you. Thank you.